These are all the exact same two keyframes at the same two positions. We're just getting there at different times. So if we look at all of them at the same time, and this one is a bad one here. Okay, if we look at them all at the same time, you could see that they all. Oh, now I remember what this one was. All right, let's look at this one too. I didn't name this one. Let me name this real quick. This is a hold keyframe. Okay, and let's solo that one out and see what that happens. And you can see nothing happens, and then it pops over, right? Nothing happens, bam, and then it pops. So if we look at the keyframe, I'm going to hit P for position so we can look at it. You can see that these keyframes are actually looking different, and these really look different. These kind of have like this really squared edge on them, okay? And what these show is these are hold keyframes, and a hold keyframe actually doesn't animate between two keyframes. All it says is I want you to hold at this position until you change to the new position, and you could pop right over there. See how that happens? So that's what hold keyframes do, and you could do that many times. If you were to make one that goes up, it'll actually hold here and then pop here again. See how that happens? So those are hold keyframes. But again, keep in mind that they're all the same distance apart. We're just getting different places at different times. And if you look at the actual keyframes, not only do the hold keyframes have different style to them, all of these styles here, these keyframes mean that they're eased in, right? These keyframes mean that they're eased in on both sides. These keyframes mean that they're linear. So, I'm sorry, the triangles or the diamonds mean that they're linear keyframes. So there's no easing involved. As soon as you start to get this hourglass shape like this or this, you start to know that there's some easing going on, and then you can go into the curves into the graph editor and see what's going on. Okay, so that's time differences, right? We're getting from point A to point B, and we're going in a straight line, but we're just doing different times. Okay, now let's take a look at position differences. And this is where you can see that two keyframes can become really powerful. And I'm just going to play this as is here. And again, keep in mind that all of these layers only have two keyframes. You can see them down here. And not only that, but they're ending up at the same time forward, from here to here. Now at this point, the differences between all of these is the way that they get there, the actual shape and the position they get there. And After Effects calls these things kind of in a scientific way. Position they call spatial keyframing. Okay, so when you're moving keyframes throughout different positions,